Hey guys, it's Mike Barnes, the financial first responder. Listen, today I got an important topic. Yes, I'm going to be talking to you about the financial positioning system, but I just wanted to ask you, have you ever used a map, a GPS, satellite phone, cell phone, any type of multi-directional thing, such as a compass? Well, if you have, you normally use those things to get from point A to point B. And a lot of you, unfortunately, have lost your way. You've forgotten how to get from point A to point B, or maybe you were never taught. You know, when we look at our current education system, we learn a lot of facts through memorization. We're never really taught how to think. We're never really taught how to solve problems or be problem solvers. We regurgitate a whole bunch of stuff that we memorize. This stuff right here, though, that I'm about to talk to you about, you can't memorize this. You can't fake your way in this. You have to figure out a system, something that will save you time, energy, and money, just like the financial positioning system. So, with that said, this is for educational purposes only. I'm going to give you one slide and one slide only, and I'm going to walk you through briefly how the system could work for you. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down. Jill came around. And now, no, they don't have a daughter. They have a plan. So with that said, let's plan. So a lot of people ask me, they say, what is this financial positioning system consist of? What is it? What is it, Mr. Financial First Responder? Well, first, you have to think like most people think. They have to think in seasons. So how many seasons are there? There are 4 seasons. Okay. You got winter, you got spring, you got autumn, and you got summer. Okay. So we're going to say, for all practical purposes and pretenses, we got 4 seasons. Now, in those 4 seasons, you have to understand that when it's cold outside and it's the winter, you have to survive. So you have to become a survivor. And then as spring comes up, we have to have some form of stability. And then we have the autumn, and then we have the summer, right? So you're going to have some growth. You're going to have that strategic freedom that you need to build a legacy. Now, let's go a little further. For you who don't know this, there are 28 magic days. And I use 28 magic days because those are the days that we were blessed with by our Lord and Savior. What do I mean by that? If you base your financial abilities based off of 4 weeks, 28 days, you can never go wrong. Now you're going to say, well, Mr. Financial First Responder, what do you mean by having a 4-week month? Because actually it's 13 months. See, if you take the 30th, or if you had a leap year like it was this year, 29 days, or you take 30, or you take 31, if you just stick with 28, that means 7 times 4, 28 days in a month. If you focus on 28 days in a month, you can get a lot of things done. You see, in the first week, what we're going to concentrate on is we're going to concentrate on basic necessities, your housing, meaning your mortgage, your rent. We're going to talk to you about what it would be like if you paid your mortgage bi-weekly. You'd actually come out having 1 extra payment a year. We're going to talk to you about being on what I like to say a food opportunity or a budget. And then we're going to talk about your core bills. Obviously, that's your lights, your water. That might be basic telephone services. And a lot of you only have cell phones now. You don't even have a house phone. And then when we get to week 2, we're going to talk about stability. We're going to talk about having an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of your necessities set aside in the event something happens, better known as a life happens fund. We're going to talk about debt reduction, whether it be the avalanche method or the snowball method. We're going to talk to you about saving and increasing or making your credit better. Because everybody knows, at least I hope you know this, that if you have good credit scores, you pay less in health insurance, less in life insurance, less in car and homeowners or renters insurance, because you're not a risk. And then in week 3, we're going to be talking about investing. We're going to be talking about, having extra by letting your money make babies for you. See, I believe that your money should be making babies for you and grandbabies and great grandbabies. But some of you are still, in some of our communities, still letting your babies go out on their own, and they're not mature enough. And then we're going to be strategic or build that legacy. We're going to have wills in place, trust. We're going to have all these things that would better your family if you weren't there. So I say again to you, when we talk about being a survivor, you hear a lot of songs and a lot of people say, I'm a survivor. Well, are you a survivor? Do you have the essentials and a safety net to prevent the winter that's about to happen? Do you have that housing covered, that food? I mean, I don't know how many people out there don't have an extra freezer. Now, if you're from the South, and yeah, DC, Virginia, Maryland, you're still in the South, anything below the Mason-Dixon line. If you don't have a freezer, I highly suggest you get a freezer. Put it somewhere in your house or in your apartment. Have extra food on hand. If not to take care of you, maybe it might be a loved one that falls short. Make sure you have the necessary insurances in place, i.e. disability insurance, life insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, health insurance, FSAs, HSAs. We talk about income protection. That's that disability. At least 60% of your income using your own occupation. Now, there are ENEOC policies, but for most of you, I would say you want something that if you can't work your job or your career, it pays you until you can get back on your feet. We talk about stability. Now, stability is very, very, very important. I don't know. Most people would say that most people like stability. They don't like the up and downs. So why not plan for the inevitable? Build the foundation, the financial foundation. Have the emergency funds, 3 to 6 months times your income or your net income. Because maybe you don't pay your bills with your gross, you pay it with your net, right? At least most people do. Have a plan for debt reduction, savings, and then improving that credit. If you don't have a credit monitoring system, you need to get one. Because right now, people are paying back credit issues based off of fraudulent things that happened to them that they had nothing to do with. And because they didn't have anything in place to notify them or help them negotiate, they have been taken advantage of. And then when we talk about growth, right? Growth is really important. Now, I like to call it cash flow. When you're investing and you're expanding your portfolio, you can do that in real estate, stocks, business ownership, yes, crypto. You can do it in a lot of different ways. Having a franchise, having a side business, being on Fiverr, doing consulting work. There's many ways that you can build that wealth. And then you have strategic freedom. You see, what we want, and most of you don't have a financial advisor that you work with or maybe you trust, but you need somebody to help you with wealth optimization. You need to have somebody that's looking at your net worth, like the financial positioning system does. You need somebody in your corner helping you strategize for tax purposes. Okay? There's a difference between doing that 1040 yourself and having a tax preparer and strategist help you plan all year. You need to protect your assets. Assets minus liabilities equal your net worth. You need to be a philanthropist. I know some of you give to your local church, your synagogue, your mosque, or your favorite charity. You need to continue to do that because that's how we build a community. But then when we get to it, we get to that legacy point. We're talking about generational wealth. And everybody is always talking about generational wealth. I want to leave generational wealth. I want to leave generational wealth. Well, let me be honest with you. If you don't have 10 times your income in life insurance, you're not leaving any generational wealth. Family banking. Sometimes the best bank might be the family bank because people might not have the credit because they weren't working on it when they were in stage number 2, right? That stability stage. Having trust and foundations in place, a family foundation. And then generational assets, assets that produce income. Now, if you like what I said, and this makes sense to you, and you want to rise to that strategic freedom, you need the financial positioning system. It is a system, software that you have on your phone, on your computer, that you will monitor your situation every week for 28 days, over and over and over. We know that when we go to the gym and work out, we can do some of the same exercises, but consistency is what helps us build muscle, tones our body, allows us to do a lot of different things like movement, pure movement, being able to walk, being able to squat down and touch your toes, being able to pick something off the floor without not being able to get back up, being able to get off the bed without any pain. It's that movement. I hate to tell you this, but the same way that you would go to the gym and work out, the same way that you would do a diet, the same way that you would do everything that you like in life to get better is the same way you have to do your finances. Look, this is Mike Barnes, a financial first responder. If what I said made sense to you, DM me. Just DM me. It does. ITDOES. It does. And if you're really interested in what I'm talking about, send me your email. Maybe even your cell number. And let's see if we can sit down and talk and see how this does with your family. Look, this is Mike Barnes, the financial first responder. Please like and subscribe my channel. I look forward to talking to you, and I look forward to seeing you on the beaches of the world. I am and will be the person that wants the best for you. But I will say this, if I want more for you than you do, then we don't need to work together. So, until we talk again, Mike Barnes, the financial first responder. God bless and have a great day.